Hello aspirants, welcome back to the fascinating world of anthropology. So friends, in today's discussion, let us try to understand about one of the important strategy with respect to anthropology optionals. So here, usually some of the aspirants will reach out to me with the question that, so can you just explain me one best strategy so that I can score very good marks in anthropology optional. So friends, our major quest in today's discussion would be to understand how to score more than 300 plus in anthropology optional. So this strategy is very important for all the aspirants who are opting anthropology as an optional and those who have selected anthropology as an optional. So it is relevant for all the aspirants. So look and try to just have a glance of this video till the end. So when we talk from the perspective of anthropology as an optional, so it is very important to have a particular strategy. So in this video, let us try to understand this aspect, that how to score 300 plus in anthropology optional. So one thing that you might be getting astonished, so is it possible to score 300 plus in anthropology optional? So if this is your question, I have some substantiating evidence for that also. So friends, if you try to look at some of the previous evidences where the toppers have already scored more than 300 plus in anthropology optional, so just have a glance and just have a look at these scores. So starting from 2027, if you see, so there were so many scholars, like so many toppers, like it could be Koya Sriharsha, who scored 338 in 2017, and like Sachin Gupta scored 339 in 2017 in the same year, and in the same year Anudeep Durshetty, so All India rank 1 in 2017, also scored 318. So this is in 218. And then if you see, like in the same year, like Ayush Sinha scored 350. So this is one another highest score in anthropology optional. So then if you see in 2018, so can you see 335? Can you see in 2018, Lakshmi Nagappan scored 362 in anthropology optional. So this is one of the benchmark score in anthropology optional. So like this, if you go on watch, go and see, so in 2020 we have 320 scored by Shubham Kumar, so he was also All India rank 1. And then if you see in 2021, so with 306 marks in anthropology optional, so Narayan Amit has scored All India rank 70. So this is one another thing. So in 2022 we have Nidhi Pai, who scored 325, and in 2024 also we have some other toppers like Dinesh Vishnoy, who scored 297, and we have Abhishek Singh, who scored 298 in 2024. That means it is very much possible that you can score anything around 300 or 300 plus. So that is one important thing and one important substantiating evidence that I would like to just put in front of you. So here the question is that, so they have scored 300 plus. So when they have scored 300 plus, so what was the strategy that they have followed? So on my observation, and when I talked with so many toppers, so what I have got from their incorporations from them is that, so they have followed one important strategy. So now let us try to look and let us try to carve out that strategy with which you can score more than 300 plus in anthropology optional. So first and foremost thing, before you do anything, so you have to understand what about the subject is all about. So first and foremost thing, you have to address this question, that what is anthropology, and you have to just know about the optional, and you have to just learn basics about this particular optional. So what is anthropology? So in very simple fashion to say, it is systematic study of human beings in both time and space. So that is the basic understanding. So I hope you are all aware of this, because as and when you started preparation, so you might be knowing this in a simple fashion. So now, what should be your first first step to score good. So the first step that you have to just put is that first and foremost you should master the syllabus. So this is very important. So first and foremost thing that you have to do is you have to master the syllabus. So how you can master the syllabus? So there is a clearly and well defined syllabus that is available for us with the notification itself. So you have to check the syllabus, and after checking the syllabus you have to just select some good resources for that. So this can be done by selecting some of the best resources that are available in the market. So this is first and foremost step that you have to do. Is that it clear? So now after selecting the books, so try to just have a glance of all the important topics which have been mentioned in the syllabus and try to match up with that so that you will get acquainted with the basic topics that are there in Anthropology Optional. So this is the first and foremost step that you have to do. And then second step, after doing this, the second step what you have to do is that, so you have to develop or you have to build conceptual clarity. So developing or building conceptual clarity is one important aspect that you have to get. So without having conceptual clarity and contextual understanding of the concepts, so it would be very much hard for you to travel with any subject. So is the case with Anthropology Optional also. So here, how you can build conceptual clarity? So either you can just attend classes. So this is one way, or you can also just proceed with your self-study. So here in this case, all the working professionals, those who don't find time, so they can just proceed with the self-study. But those who have the time, I suggest them to just go with the regular classes, either in offline mode or in online mode, so that you can build a conceptual clarity in a systematic fashion. So that is one thing. So this is one thing that you have to get. So once you get the conceptual clarity from the classes or self-study, then you should slightly work on enrichment of this conceptual knowledge. So there what you have to do, you have to work on conceptual enrichment. So what is this conceptual enrichment and how you can get it? So one simple thumb rule in Anthropology Optional, particularly in Anthropology Optional, is that you need to possess one important weapon, that is, you need to possess a handwritten notes. It is one important aspect. So you need to possess handwritten notes on each and every topic that is mentioned in this syllabus. So this is an unforgettable thumb rule, so that you have to remember. So if you miss this, so then you are just lacking behind with respect to others. So this is one thing that you have to remember forever in Anthropology Optional. So that's one thing. So most of the questions, if you see, and as it is very well established fact also that most of the questions will be repetitive in nature in Anthropology Optional, and the questions can be well predicted. So if you have notes on each and every topic mentioned in the syllabus, so that itself helps you to just fetch good marks, because you have already content is ready with you. So that's one thing. So then after getting into this, so then what you have to do? So then slightly you should look for some other advancements. So in the next stage, that means at the fourth step, what you should do, you should strive upon working hotspot identification. Hotspot identification is the next step. So what are hotspots? Hotspots are nothing but those important themes that would be regularly repeated in the examination, or that would be regularly picked by the UPSC, so that some topics are the most important topics that would be there in anthropology. Let's say, for example, cultural relativism is one of the important topic that UPSC loves more, and again it gives the same topic. Or theories and thoughts, anthropological theories and thoughts, it's another favorite area for UPSC. So you should identify the hotspots. And one important simple thing that you can remember for identifying hotspots is that you can just proceed with the PYQ analysis. PYQ analysis. When you do the PYQ analysis of anthropology past years papers, so you will get a beautiful analysis that, like, what are the important areas from where the questions are being picked, and what are the important questions that have been regularly repeatedly asked. So this further enriches your like a focus area. So that is one another important thing. And then after just identifying hotspots, so then next step what you have to do is that, so you have to enrich your skill set or enhance your skill set. So next thing is that skill set enhancement. So what do you mean by the skill set enhancement? So in simple fashion to say, answer writing is one of the important tool, and answer writing is one of the important skill that you must possess. So this is very important aspect. So after getting the conceptual clarity and after getting the conceptual enrichment, and then once you analyze the PYQs, the next step that you have to do is you should start enriching and enhancing your skill set. That is, you have to start working towards answer writing skills. So slowly you should work upon enhancement of answer writing skills. So this is very important step. So here how you have to proceed. So you should just work upon making some flow charts, or you should just work upon making some ready-made diagrams. So such kind of things you have to make it. Okay, so this is one another thing that you have to remember from the skill set enhancement point of view. So I hope it is clear for you. And now after enhancing the skill set, there comes the sixth step, that is like you have to proceed with the practice. So how you can just practice and how you can just further proceed. So practice through the answer writing programs. So just join in any answer writing program, or pick a classroom program, or just check yourself or practice through test series. So this is one another important step that you have to do. So these are the very important 6 steps that you must follow and incorporate in your preparation. So if you do in this particular sequence, so you can just nail your preparation, and this could be one of the best strategy that most of the aspirants have followed. So be it could be all the toppers that I have shown, so all the toppers have followed such kind of strategy. So by doing all that, one another important thing every aspirant had, every topper has had, was that, so they used to discuss it and they used to debate it and they used to share their knowledge that was available with them. So that was one another key thing that you also should possess. So this is one thing. So when we talk from the perspective of this strategy, so strategy should incorporate all these steps in a sequential manner. So this is very important. So my dear friends, I would like to just tell you and explain you another important thing, that when we talk from the perspective of the optional, particularly anthropology optional, so one such quality that takes you to the shore of success is that it is the answer writing skill. So you should work more on the answer writing skills. So let's try to just look some basic aspects about the answer writing skills. So when we generally talk from the perspective of answer writing skills, and through this how you can score more means, so one thing that I would like to tell you is that, so while writing answers in anthropology optional, so you have to take some other extra care. So the answers should never look like general studies answers. So like you have to give some sort of extra touch, or like it should be some different touch. to the optional. So first and foremost thing that you have to do is that, so the first thing that you have to do is that you should give a scholarly touch. Scholarly touch to the answers. So what do you mean by this scholarly touch? Scholarly touch means, so in simple fashion to say, when you are just discussing regarding any concept, let's say for example, so you are discussing about the concept of cultural relativism. So you should try to say this from the anthropologist, that means who proposed this particular thing. So you should talk about this. So the concept of cultural relativism has been proposed by Franz Boas. So where and when and how, so these things also you have to just mention. So you should talk about the various aspects like the books or literary traditions, or then you should talk about their field work. So such aspects we should mention in the very introduction itself, or the answer should contain such a kind of touch. So that is one thing. So I hope you got it clear. And then if you see from the perspective of other important aspects that most of the toppers have incorporated into that is that, so you have to just incorporate value addition aspects. Value addition aspects you have to add. So what are those value addition aspects? So for every answer, so you should try to incorporate certain specific examples. This is one thing. So whatever the concepts that you are writing, so be it could be the sociological concepts, be it could be the primatological concepts, or be it could be the physical anthropology questions. So you have to incorporate relevant examples, and particularly in the tribal section, examples are must. Then apart from that, you should strive to mention case studies in a systematic fashion wherever that is necessary. So case studies. So you should try to understand example difference between examples and case study. Let's say for example, when you're mentioning about some traditions, marriage traditions, you can say that there is a practice, there is a tradition of visiting husband tradition. There is a practice of visiting husband tradition amongst the Nair communities of Malabar region. So this is an example. So when you try to just mention it in an elaborated way by giving the scholar name and all those things and the observations, so that becomes a case study. So where you can say, like if you simply mention that the tradition of the practice of the visiting husband tradition by Nair community is an example, whereas the same can become a case study. How? So when you say that Kathleen Guff on the systematic observation of the Nair community has put forwarded a tradition that is known as the visiting husband tradition, so where several husbands will visit to the house of a woman, and this is how, like, we cannot see the concept of residential cohabitation among the Nair communities of Malabar region, and there they have a system called as Theravada system. So if you mention such kind of things, so that becomes a case study. So I hope it is clear to you. So you have to just incorporate such kind of case studies. And then apart from that, if you see, so slightly you should also mention some substantiating evidences and statistics and statistical data for the same. So wherever you're talking about anything, or like you have to mention these kind of things also. So that is one another important thing. So then next important thing that what you have to do is that you should work upon the last but not the least, that is you should work on presentation aspects. Presentation aspects. So this is another defining thing that most of the toppers will take care. So what's the presentational aspect? So you should see like whether you are following the structure of the answer or not. So you have to follow an appropriate structure. So you have to see whether you are following the introduction, body and conclusion in a systematic fashion or not. Then once you just get into that aspect, then you should see to what extent your approaches are good. So that means you should check what you have to write in the introduction and how you are writing your conclusions and how you are mentioning your body portion. So this mentions like this contains the approach section, and then after that there comes the presentation with respect to the other things. So other presentational aspects includes, so you should try to represent some flow charts. That is very important because let's say for example if you are talking about forms of marriage, so you should systematically mention different types of marriages based on the choice, based on the number of mates, or based on the such kind of variations. So you should mention. Then you should also try to incorporate certain diagrams. So diagrams are important with respect to some sections. So wherever it is required, you have to mention the diagram. So that is another important area where you have to just work upon. So your answer writing skills should meet these kind of things. So by giving scholarly touch, by writing anthropologist's name or like books and references and the field works they have done, so this gives one thing. And then value addition aspects, you have to incorporate all those things, and the presentation kind of aspects. So you have to incorporate all of these things. So that's one thing. So what you have to remember one thing is that, so the more you sweat in the practice, the less you bleed in the battle. So when you go to battle, so that means when you go for writing mains, at the time if you start thinking various aspects, then you will lose the time. So then you will be pulling yourself back. So what you have to do, the more you sweat in the practice, the less you will bleed in the war or battle. So that's why while you practice, during that time only you have to make all these things. So that is one important aspect that you have to remember. So I hope you have got some of the important steps. So now at the end I would like to just give another important information that there are certain traits that are exclusively for the toppers. So now let us try to just look into certain toppers traits, so which were commonly seen among various toppers. So when you look at the toppers traits, so certain traits or certain characters or certain things are very much common in most of the toppers. So the first and foremost thing is that they all possessed their own handwritten notes. So all the toppers, if you see, every topper possesses their own handwritten notes. So this is one important topper's trait. Now verify yourself, do you possess your handwritten notes or not? If not, this is the right time you have to make it. So that's one thing. And after having this handwritten notes, another important trait connected to it is that revise your handwritten notes multiple times. Revise the notes multiple times. So this is one important trait. Is that it clear? So that's very, very important thing. So without this, you will be just lagging behind in preparation. That is one thing. So then the next important trait that every topper possesses is that, like, one thing that is common with respect to all other toppers is that they have worked in mastering the answer writing. Master the answer writing skills. So this you must and should do. So try to mark my word. So every topper has had the ability of extensive answer writing practice. So without answer writing practice, it is very much hard to expect the success. So this is one another thing. So if you're not doing this, so you have to do this at any case. So that is one thing. Then how you have to write your answers. So when we say that anthropology is optional is mostly about the mains. So we have to have an extensive writing habit, and how our answer should look like, that's one other important thing. So our answers should be lively in nature. Lively means, so you should write them in such a fashion that it should connect with the examiner. So not only this lively, so answers also should be holistic as well as complete in sense. That means you should try to incorporate all the aspects that have been asked in the question. So that is one thing. So address all the parts of the question completely. So answer should be complete. So lively answer should be there, and apart from that, like holistic answer should be there, and complete answer should be there. So that is one thing. And the next thing is that along with this kind of answers, you should also try to incorporate the value addition. So at appropriate areas, you have to use examples, case studies, flowcharts, diagrams, so that your answer looks different. So that's one thing. Then last but not the least, you should not leave any stone unturned. So leave no stone unturned. So what is this? When I am saying leave no stone unturned means you should not leave any portion of any section of syllabus. That means you have to cover the syllabus in a comprehensive manner, systematic manner, with a methodical manner, where you will make all these things in a perfect fashion. So that is one thing. So you should not leave any stone unturned. That means you should not leave any portion of the syllabus. So that means each word that is mentioned in the syllabus is very, very important from anthropology perspective. So this is what some of the important traits that I have observed and I have grasped from various toppers. So friends, I hope this video finds well to you, and this is one important thing that I would like to communicate with you, because many aspirants have approached me with such kind of questions stating that, sir, could you suggest me one of the important strategy for preparing anthropology optional. So this is one good strategy which has worked for several aspirants. So this worked for several aspirants. So try to incorporate all these steps in your preparation and try to just work upon this kind of answer writing skills, and then try to just keep these toppers traits also in mind and try to just work accordingly. So that's all for today from my side, and if you have any particular doubts or if you are expecting anything to know from my side, so just drop your expectation, that is like what you would like to expect from my side. Drop in the comment section so that I will make a particular strategy session on that particular aspect. Let's say, for example, so sir, how to write answers in anthropology, or how to write best answers in anthropology. So that could be one thing. So try to work upon such kind of things and drop your ideas on the comment section so that I'll make videos on that particular topic. So that's all for today. So we'll meet in another video with another important discussion. So till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you all.